Hello, beautifuls. So, just touching base with you. Happy new moon. So, we are in the void, we are in the dark, and we are continuing to move forward in this energy of the unknown, in uncertainty, and analyzing, reassessing our priorities, looking at our energies in relationships, manifesting our desires, and really remaining open to what the universe is willing to bring through for us when we stay in that surrender energy. So, a couple of the things that I wanted to bring through on this particular reading is sometimes when things get really intense and there are infinite possibilities, we can feel a bit contracted and kind of feel this need to burst out prematurely and run in whichever direction we feel called to do so. But you might have a little bit of resistance or intuitive hesitation, and that's just telling you just hold on a little bit longer, be patient. It is coming, the fortune, the rewards that you've worked really hard for, the seedling that's going to sprout and blossom. Listen really carefully to your intuition and your guidance, and do Q&A with the universe and test out your intuition. Ask a question and you might find that the universe will answer very quickly. So stay in tune, stay open to those answers, and just recognize that because you've been kind of immobilized or in paralysis for a little while, it might feel really good to want to just burst out of the gates and go running. Now, make sure that you check in with yourself to see if you're repeating any old patterns or if you're in a place of love and moving forward with a strong and sturdy foundation. So just check yourself before you wreck yourself moving forward, and pay really close attention to what your intention is in terms of the actions that you're taking. So don't force it. If there's something that's, if you're almost there but not quite, try not to force it and allow the universe to meet you. And when you have that 100% yes, go for it. So it is a leap of faith in a way, because you're saying, okay, I trust the universe to bring this in. I'm not going to go for it when I'm having intuitive energy that tells me it's not quite ready yet. So don't be super hasty, even though it feels, it feels super uncomfortable. And at this point, we're all kind of ready to get the pocket knife out and cut through the chrysalis. So take care of yourselves, be patient, know that many of us are frustrated. Many of us want to just hit the ground running, and it may not be the correct time yet. So we'll see what the cards have to say for that. What I did with the cards today is I looked at what we're releasing, what we're focusing on, and what we're moving towards. And then I pulled an animal totem card just to give us the overall energies of what's happening right now. So I've been seeing slug medicine for a very long time. And every single time I go out on my walks these days, there's Mr. Slug. And I took the time to look it up again today because I thought, you know what, when totems repeat and repeat, sometimes we've missed a certain lesson, or they want to reiterate, something within the message that they carry. And so the slug is a very powerful and potent animal totem, connected with shamanism, connected with divination, and very ethereal in terms of, the trail that it leaves behind. The antennas, they've got antennas going up and antennas going down, and they're just moving along, the vibration so slow, so steady. Where do the slugs go? If anyone wants to tell me that, feel free to comment. Where do they go? Where do they live? You always see them just moving from point A to B. And I feel like that's where we are. We're right smack in the middle. We're almost to the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, the calm at the end of the storm. So hang in there, you guys. Hang in there. You can do this. Take really good care of yourself. Prioritize your needs, your safety, feeling supported, and feeling confident in your decisions. If you're not feeling confident in your decision and you just feel like you're making it for the sake of making it, just take a step back and maybe do some pros and cons and see where your heart is at, see where you're aligned. So let's jump into the energies. And if we have enough time, I might pull a couple from the Life Purpose and the Healing deck just to see. But this is going to be a shorter reading, or so my intention is that it's going to be a shorter reading. So let's see what we have from the Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. Don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? This is where we are moving away from. So we're moving away from putting ourselves into a box or adjusting our behavior, the way we talk, the way we act, so that someone else can feel more comfortable. And that can be in business, it can be with family members, and it can be especially in our romantic relationships. So where are you dimming, or where did you dim in the past, where now you're feeling confident enough to stand in your own shoes, your own authenticity, take responsibility for your choices and your actions, and shine yo light. So hi Charlotte, how you doing? So this one is really beautiful and important. We're really standing in our power. We've gotten through a lot of hurdles. We've overcome a lot of roadblocks. We've hit some, challenges that we probably didn't feel ready for. And those challenges helped us see where we were contracted, where we were restricting ourselves. And now we're moving into something new. So let's see what energies are clarifying that. Forgiveness, resonating to the number 4. So we're really having to forgive ourselves for making decisions that maybe in the end weren't serving us as well as we thought they might be, because we may have been coming from a place of fear or lack or victimization. And some of that is subconscious, right? So you're not conscious that you're doing this and you're repeating old patterns. So really, we have to forgive ourselves and others for dimming to fit in, because we all want to be liked. We all want to have approval. And so we know what it's like to adjust ourselves to meet someone, or to adjust ourselves to meet society and the expectations that society has put upon us. So now that we're dismantling, dissolving those blocks, those expectations, which weren't born innately in us, but were kind of pressed upon us, we're forgiving ourselves and others, which is allowing us to move forward. So we're dropping the burdens, the shame, the responsibilities. We're dropping doing the work for anybody else other than ourselves. And we're moving forward with more light to shine, because we've been in the darkness. We have compassion for that. We understand the challenges and the courage it takes to move through that. And it takes a lot of courage to actually forgive the self and forgive others, because none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. And so there is room here for understanding that we may not have had all the information. And if you're standing in your integrity, you are doing the best you can in the moment, right? So if you're in your integrity, you're coming from a heart-centered place, and you look back and you think, how did it end up like that? Or, that really hurt, or I wasn't prepared for that. Put some compassion and forgiveness out there for yourself, because you did the best you could with the best intentions at the time. So moving into what we are focusing on right now. Protection. And this is interesting because it has like an eclipse energy up top, but we are in the new moon. So we're in the void, we're in the darkness, in the birthing phase of something new. And so we do have this protection, sacred protection. It says, call back your power, cut the cord, soul retrieval. We're taking back our power from when we shrunk ourselves, when we made ourselves small, or we accepted someone else's opinion of us, and that opinion was from someone who looked at us as small or insignificant or didn't value us. So we're taking back our power. We're reclaiming our place in the world, and in the world that we see, to be the highest and best for everybody, not in perhaps the world that society has shown us is supposed to be the right way, because we're starting to question that, and we're starting to look at how we can break free of any energies of tyranny or control or manipulation. That includes relationships, but if we put that on the bigger scale, it includes government and, energies in which you are kind of preordained to follow a specific route. So if you can stay in your power and contribute to both worlds in a way that works for you, then that's a really lovely way to reclaim your power and both contribute to society, but also maintain your own sovereignty and independence. So a really beautiful card here. And the fact that there's, a group of people in the circle here also makes me think that, there's many of us who are contributing to each other's protection as we stand in our light. So as we are taking off the masks, looking at self-deception, letting go of things that no longer serve. So when you're in a new moon, you're looking at manifesting. Typically full moon is for releasing. So we're manifesting the new out of the void. And if our focus is on the past and what did not work, we're more likely to be drawing in something that, relates more closely to that, rather than focusing on what we want to draw in. So be aware you are protected as this new birth comes to be. And just know that the more you shine your light, the more you stand in your authentic power, the more you are connected to source energy, spirit, universe, God, whatever it is for you, where you feel that innate connection. And that really helps you feel unity and, connect to the collective in a positive way, where you understand that you matter, that your uniqueness brings something to the table, where we're all weaving a very beautiful web together, and it is very intricate, right? So really, really understanding you're a key player, you're a key part to cultivating this new beautiful energy that's coming to be in this new moon energy. So there's a lot of turbulence around this too. And I've been talking about this in my readings and in client sessions, but there's so much going on that a lot of us feel very exhausted and frustrated, that the timing doesn't feel right, or why hasn't it come through already, and feeling stagnation. And so, from past readings, we've been advised to move our energy by dancing, by singing, by doing chakra clearing, and really to focus on what we're ingesting, so eating correctly, and just bringing the body back into balance, so that can be, a really strong, healthy foundation for moving through these waves and these cycles that are continuing to come through for our learning and our growth and our evolution. So a very interesting card here of protection. Let's see what the clarifying card is for this. The Water Fairy. So this one is resonating to the number 10. So this is new beginnings. This is new beginnings in feelings and emotions. And this has come up a couple times for me and in other readings. But this is really also talking about, in the tarot decks. So we've got the 4 elements, right? We have earth, air, water, and fire. Now, you have a king and a queen and a page of all of the elements. If you put all of the kings together, you get the emperor. If you get all of the queens together, you have the empress. So the empress and the emperor really embody all facets. So they're embodying both the feminine and the masculine, but they're also embodying all of the elements. So the water element is the emotions, right? And something that has been coming up in other readings is also the queen of air. So when you are overtaken by your emotions, or you're really off balance and you go into your emotional realm and you kind of get lost in there, it's the same as if you're getting lost in your mind. So the mind's overactive or inactive. You're either paralyzed or you're overanalyzing, and the hamster is exhausted or the hamster is just not doing anything at all. Now, the same applies for the emotional realm. Sometimes our emotions are so overwhelming that we can get lost in them and feel like we're drowning in them. So part of the energy of the Queen of Water, the Queen of Cups in the tarot, is actually knowing how to ride those waves, knowing how to use your emotions to your advantage, but not get overtaken by them. And this is a similar message with the Water Fairy here. The Water Fairy knows the importance of the emotional realm, knows the importance of diving deep and going into those shadow aspects. And our emotions really show us where a wound is, where, grief is, where anger is stemming from. So the roots of certain issues or trauma. Now, when we start to detach a little bit from our emotions, we're actually merging the heart and the mind, because we're saying, okay, I see you as a valuable tool and resource to work with, in addition to my intellectual input, in addition to the input that my body is receiving, right? So it's calling us into alignment in terms of this protection. So it does kind of insist that there's a need for detachment in the emotional realm right now. And this is to help protect us from that which does not serve us any longer. And when we're talking about cutting the cords, this is cutting the cords to toxic behaviors. This is cutting the cords to patterns that no longer work for you. This is saying that, I'm no longer dimming myself. I'm no longer playing by rules that don't make me feel empowered and strong and courageous and in alignment with my soul purpose and my path. So you're moving away from that which drains your emotional energy. And by detaching slightly in a healthy way, it's just kind of putting up boundaries with your own emotions, right? So knowing that they can help or hinder you, and you have to maintain the balance between the two. So this is a really great energy to be mindful of as we have this new beginning, this new birth in this new moon energy. So this is what we're moving towards. So we are moving towards these energies here. The Priestess. So the priest or the priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? So by releasing what no longer serves, by protecting our inner treasures, our inner power, our life force energy, and, detaching from any emotional connections that feel draining. We're disengaging from that, protecting ourselves by taking care of our emotional landscape and realm. And we're really moving into this beautiful priestess energy. So we're really taking responsibility for our energy, but not only that, we're taking responsibility to listen to our intuition. So before, whereas we might have walked past red flags or simply just not investigated due to fear, or walked on eggshells with people, avoided conflict, those types of things. Now we're actually emotionally available to do that because we're taking a little bit of a step back. So we might be able to have conversations or communication with people that we wouldn't have been able to have before because we were too emotionally involved or off kilter. So if you're in chaos in any one of the elements, then you're being invited to bring back balance. And the priestess is much like that empress energy where she's got everything in balance, right? So how are you called to step up and lead? Are you focusing more on the light, or are you focusing more of the darkness from the past? And so what are you calling forth in this new moon? Be wise and pay attention to the energies that you are calling in right now, because this is the energy that we're moving into, which is really beautiful. So Empress, Priestess energy. So leading by example, embodying your values, standing in integrity as you move forward. This is really fantastic and amazing. And here's our clarity for the Priestess, the Stag. Pride and leadership. So 2 cards from 2 different decks talking about leadership. So, and this, the Stag has this amazing antler set. And it's really about our connection to the divine, the connection to spirit as well. And the stag is kind of no nonsense, right? Very kind of docile in most circumstances. But when the stag is required to stand up for something that they truly believe in, this could be a mate as well, right? They fight for it. They're willing to fight for it. They're willing to sacrifice. And so we've made a lot of sacrifices, and this beautiful energy of the priestess and the stag is showing us, we can take pride in what we've done and be mindful not to be arrogant in that energy. So, if we are looking at ourselves as above people, better than people, and not really keeping this forgiveness and compassion in mind, we might move into the kind of arrogant spectrum of the stag energy. However, if we stay balanced, we detached, and we're kind of accepting of forgiveness, compassion, we're leaving energy open for clarity, for cutting cords, closing doors to what no longer serves, communicating what needs to be communicated, and really tying up those loose ends. It's going to be an amazing, amazing vantage point for us as leaders as we move forward. So that's a great, fantastic, beautiful energy to be moving towards. So let's take a look and see what our cumulative energy is surrounding us right now in the entire reading for the new moon energies. And this is from the Animal Dreaming Oracle deck. And this is an Australian-based book by Scott Alexander King. So let us see, what is the animal totem that is helping us through these wild and challenging times? And I wanted this to be a little bit more of a lighthearted, short reading, but I also put on the description, don't give up. And the reason why I'm putting that there is because when, how do you think it feels to climb Mount Everest? Do you think they just get up to the top and they don't feel like quitting and turning around and turning back because it is so arduous? Really acknowledge how far you have come, you guys. This stag is, bugling at the top of a mountain. So celebrate your successes, celebrate your priestess or priesthood energy. You have made the changes, you have made the investments and the sacrifices to get you where you are. You have cut the cords and detached from emotionally draining situations or circumstances. And this new moon energy and spirit is really assisting you to move into your leadership, stand in your power. So let's see what energies we have, and reminding ourselves, don't give up. It's been really challenging. It's difficult to see in the dark, and it's difficult when there's a lot of uncertainty around us, or when we feel like we're waiting on someone or something to fall into place in order for us to go forward. But really, it's a time of trusting ourselves, having faith in ourselves, and having faith in the seeds and the work that we've already done that are coming to fruition, as we speak. So, this is amazing. I love this. Okay, so the spider, and I have referenced this a couple times, and I literally had a spider stuck in my bra the other day. I felt this little diddle, and I was like, okay, looking down there, and it was a spider crawling around. So he's having a heyday, but I definitely looked it up, and so we are really working on our shadow elements. We're still working on our shadow elements. I pulled a card for myself from the Isis deck. I just happen to have it out here. This is a personal for me, but I'll bring it up. It was the Temple of Black Obsidian. And Black Obsidian, as you may know, is a very protective stone. So because we have the protection card here, if you have some, or black tourmaline, you might want to use it at this time. However, what the Temple of Black Obsidian kind of talks about is, first of all, getting into a place of self-love. So rose quartz, pink tourmaline, any of those stones that really bring in an energy of the heart, malachite, etc. Go into your heart first. And then once you've gone into your heart, go into your shadow self. It's kind of like looking at the glass mirrors and really digging deep and going, okay, I thought I had gone pretty far and I've been doing a lot of work, but there still seems to be this direction from spirit to be focusing on the creativity that comes from releasing our shadows and facing and confronting our shadows. Because if we don't hold that fear, then it doesn't exist within us. If we hold it, then we're giving it power. So it's claiming our power back by almost cutting the cords to fear. The fear of our shadow, what we most despise in ourselves. When we're feeling down, what do you say to yourself in the mirror? Like, fat, ugly, failure, unsuccessful, can't get a man, can't get a woman. What is it? What is the thing you say to yourself from the shadow, right? Maybe can't ever get it right. I'm broken. I can never have a healthy relationship. Well, in ways, these are just excuses, and they're allowing the shadow side to thrive within. And so if we're always in fear, then we're always in perpetuation of that shadow. And if we accept it and we acknowledge it, it takes away the power. It still might be there, but we have an awareness of it so we can move forward and bring that back up to the light. So the spider is the weaver of dreams. And I'm going to read the spider energy. And it also is resonating to the number 33. So you may find that the angel number sequence 333 might come up for you, or even just the number 33, obviously. But let's see what the weaver of dreams has to tell us. Okay. Spider as the weaver of dreams reminds us that we are the creators of our own lives and that we alone choose the directions we take. Every night, the spider weaves her web, and every morning she pulls it apart, fully prepared to reweave it later that night. Her web is symbolic of life. We are all essential strands in the web of life. Each of us is imbued with strength and wisdom to make a vital contribution to the planet. Spider encourages us to explore life and to investigate the strands that lead out from the center of her web. Some will offer reward and others won't. As we journey the positive strands, life seems abundant. A wrong turn, though, will present a strand that offers nothing. Life becomes difficult with all attempts to free ourselves proving futile. The web of life is riddled with pitfalls, but it also promises greatness to those prepared to take risks and work hard. As the weaver of dreams, Spider urges us to explore life and to reweave our web when our path becomes barren. And that's what we're doing right now. We had barren energy of the past from toxic patterns, trauma bonding, narcissistic empath, overgiving, overtaking, trying to fit into a certain role of being a lady or being a man that doesn't cry, the wounded aspects of what society told us we were supposed to be or supposed to have at what age, what we're supposed to look like, what our physical body is supposed to weigh, all of these things. So as the weaver of dreams, Spider urges us to explore life and to reweave our web when our path becomes barren. She helps us reclaim our power. That is exactly what the protection card was talking about, and bring our dreams to fruition. She warns, however, that in order to open new doors, we must first close old ones by facing our fears and making choices that promise new beginnings. This is wild. So if we're too afraid to confront our fears and, we stay in that stagnant energy, then the new doors are just less likely to open. And so as many loose ends as you can tie off, as many shadows that you can look in the eye and go, okay, I see this shadow of overgiving, or I see this shadow of blaming others, or I see this shadow of giving away my power, whatever it is for you, note the shadow and symbolically close the door on it so that you can move forward and open new doors. And this is really pertinent right now with the new moon, new beginnings, manifesting. If Spider has woven her way into your cards today, you're being reminded of your role as a vital strand in the web of life. We all yearn to take control of our lives and to make a difference to the world. We all yearn to believe in ourselves, to have faith in our ability to heal and to realize our true potential. Well, you are being reminded that Spider nurtures the wisdom in you to make your healing possible and your life more abundant and fulfilling. Now is the time to acknowledge your vulnerabilities. This is a big one too. Face your fears and strive to achieve your dreams. So embrace your purpose and your personal power. Example, if you're afraid to speak your truth or reach out to someone for fear of rejection, you may actually have to face that fear by reaching out, and they might reject you, but at least you have faced that fear. You have owned up to your vulnerability of rejection or abandonment, and therefore you're disempowering it because you're standing in your true power. By not doing anything, by dimming to fit in, so to speak, you are actually just being a slave to fear, your own fear, and entrapping yourself in that energy. So Spider is calling to you to reconnect with spirit and to remember that you are not apart from the world in which you live, but rather a vital thread in the universal tapestry. Without your input, the tapestry will fray and eventually fall apart. So what a beautiful energy to keep in mind for your own personal manifestations or rituals around the new moon. You know, having a bath would be really wonderful. Going near a body of water would be really wonderful. Like I said, bringing in crystals or stones that connect to your heart. I think this one is chalcedony. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But, you know, listen to your intuition too. Go check out your jewelry or your stones and pick up one that you feel like would help you at this new moon of releasing or confronting aspects of yourself that you find hard to forgive, you find hard to look at, right? So embrace and love all of you, you know, embrace all of you. And what I find interesting about this Spider card, you know, it really gets me when it says they make their web knowing that it can come down every day and they can put it back up. So it's a lesson in impermanence as well, and attachment, because we can get so attached to our comforts and what we expected or desired outcomes to be. And when they're talking about the path can be abundant or barren, you know, we'll each experience different levels of that at different points of our lives. But when I say don't give up, it's about being willing to be a leader in building that web, continuing to work on your dreams even after setbacks. So continue to peer into the illusions around you and seek the truth as a leader in your field. Now, I do think that I'm probably going to end the reading there. Maybe I'll do one healing card and one oracle. So those of you watching or catching the replay, thank you for checking out my channel. If you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe or like to support me in what I do. I'll also put up a link for any donations through PayPal if you so feel inspired. I think everybody who has given me donations already, I really truly appreciate that. So thank you very much. And if you want to book with me for a private reading, those links will also be below. Or you can find me also on Instagram at Mollie Kindred or on Facebook at Kindred Heart Tarot. So let's see what we've got for the energies of healing. Organic foods, taking care of the body, really making sure the body, our grounding tool, our receiver, our temple, is really taken care of and is a priority for us. So continue to prioritize your body at this time. And for life purpose, let's see, what do we have for the new moon? Focusing on life path, our life purpose, what we're passionate about, where our soul is taking us, guiding us. Animals. I love that this has a cheetah because we've got a lot of cat energy happening. We've got lions, cougar energy, cheetah, jaguar. If these animals are coming to you, there's a very powerful energy to those animal totems. It says, you understand animals and communicate with them intuitively. Trust your inner guidance as the animals are part of your life's work. So for you guys watching live and for those catching the replay, really pay attention to those animal totems, pay attention to your dreams. And if you do have animals, understand that there is a connection there that goes just beyond, the surface level of owning a pet, that animal is a guide and assisting you in balancing your frequency so that you can better contribute to the universal web, right? So be grateful for those lovely, beautiful animal helpers as well, right? Yes, totally cat medicine. Very strong cat medicine. If you feel called to, look up some of the energies of the cougar, jaguar, cheetah. There's really beautiful, amazing, empowering energies. Most of them have to do with the solar plexus chakra. So if you do feel that you are noticing a lot of that cat energy, pay attention to your solar plexus chakra as well, because it's about empowerment. It's about courage, right? So if you are watching, if I have time, if I have the energy at the end of my sessions, I do open up for anybody that wants a card pull, just to kind of get a little bit of extra information or guidance for you. So if you would like a card pull, then please put yes, please in the comments. And if not, this will be the end of the new moon reading for May 22nd, also Master Number Day. So a very powerful day for manifesting. But if you would like your card, just let me know and I'll give you a second there. But thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate your support. And if you can, do a little ceremony for yourself, do a little new moon ritual, and focus on what you would really love to bring into your life, what you foresee as helping you feel vibrant, helping you feel confident, feel alive and motivated. So maybe even just getting in touch with those feelings on a walk. So picture or visualize what you think would make you happy and say this or something better, and picture the feeling, embody the feeling that comes with that. That's a really fantastic practice if you're just getting started with understanding the energies of manifestation. So Jocelyn, I will pull from, I think maybe the Wisdom of Avalon cards for you. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Just going to quickly take a look here.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. And that's my Padre. So,
Say hello.
sure, why not? There's my Padre. He's saying hello. He's famous now.
Yeah.
All right. So here is your card. Let's go. There we are. So, card for you is Dragon. Yes. So, resonating to the number 6. So, choices, love, empowerment, decisions, balance, power, and strength. Let's read this sucker. This card has come out a few times, but I took it away. The other thing, the symbolism with the dragon too, is he's got higher vision. He's looking up from the mountaintop, right? And the stag was also on the mountaintop, kind of bugling, right? I love it when that happens and you just open it up right to the perfect page. She's got it. All right. So the dragon comes to offer you its power and strength to protect and fortify you on this leg of your journey. The dragon symbolizes true power and reminds you that this infinite source is not found within your personality or ego. True power resides deep within your soul. So call on the dragon's spiritual power and strength, and you will find a vast resource to strengthen your resolve. Through morality, integrity, and purpose, if you're struggling with these issues, the dragon will restore them to you. Remember that the power of the spiritual world can never be broken, and true strength is found within, not in the outside world. Never mistake a gentle man for a weak one. That's especially true with witches. Watch for a signal. The dragon always makes the next step clear and gives you the power to take it. So if you're wondering about a decision and you are working on that energy, the dragon will help you, give you clarity so that you have that 100% and you know exactly what to do and exactly where to focus your energy. So that's an awesome energy for you there. Okay, well, it doesn't look like anyone else is interested in a card pull. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I really hope you have an amazing new moon, and keeping your focus positive. Keep going. Don't give up. Trust yourself. Have faith in yourself. Take care, guys. Love you lots. Bye for now. Ciao.